Okay, so we all know that Oracle CPQ is a quoting tool actually, which helps sales user to sell the products uh, as fast as I can. Okay, so that is a tagline that Oracle CPQ is having, and Oracle CPQ is was acquired, like previously Oracle CPQ is called as a big missions, and now Oracle acquired the big missions and turned it into Oracle CPQ Cloud actually. Okay, so today's agenda will be like we are discussing about the business overview, the different modules, and I'm going to showcase like a demo project for you guys actually, how what is the configuration, what is the commerce, and how we're going to have the proposal template. And the next one is about the scripting language that we are going to use in this CPQ, and the next one is about the training content. Okay, and the next one, so the first thing we're going to do the overview actually. So as I said earlier, like Oracle CPQ is nothing but as a big missions. So which provides a cloud-based application which is having a different modules in that, like configure, price, and quotation. So like it's like easy for the users to configure if you have the huge number of configurations actually in the field level as well. So and also like most of the people in the Oracle CPQ are like sorry, most of the people in the manufacturing industries or financial industries actually having a tough job to handle their quoting process. So as I have seen, many of the people are actually handling with the different systems of quoting. Like most of the people are actually handling with Excel sheets and some other techniques actually. But where Oracle CPQ helps them actually to improve their quoting process and to reduce the manual errors actually. Okay, and it helps to focus on selling and helping organizations to improve sales post pro like a productive manner actually. So that's an about on high level of CPQ that helps here. So any questions actually? Okay, I consider as a no. So the next one is about business overview actually, how the data flows from CRP to CRM to ERP, and what is the uh, priority of CPQ actually here. Okay, the CRM may be of CRM here actually that we have. It may be the Sales Cloud or CRM on demand or Salesforce. Okay, the CRM contains mostly like the customer related data where maybe it's going to be like conversion of lead to an opportunity and from opportunity to a quoting process actually. Okay, so that's why I had a diagrammatical representation here like from the CRM opportunity we're going to create a code, and in the code actually we're going to have a configurator, and we're going to have a pricing, and we're going to have a document engine or document designer, which is like going to prepare the proposals here. And next once we are done with this one, we're going to place an order in the order management system. So the ERP may be like Oracle Fusion or JD Edwards, it may be anything. And next we have is actually the part master. So the part master is actually we can decide like a which is having uh, the products actually basically we can call it as a products or items. So maybe it will be like we can make it as a batch process where we can make which system as a master and which system as a slave. So in general, most of the CRM systems or ERP systems will treat it as a master and CPK as a slave, where it going to import the parts from the ERP or the CRM system into CPQ through a batch process. So that's about the part master here. And we have a different things here like the code header and code line items and approval sequence that we have and coding level. Okay, so there are different this is a high level flow that is generally on a business overview. So any questions here?
No, you can go.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah, the next one is the configuration actually. So what is the the configurations are something like which meets the customer requirements, drives the future of code like so because the quotation is nothing but like once a product user has to configure their product by using some if he knows like he knows the requirement but he don't know the what is the exact product of that he has to buy. So then customer has to have a guided experience where provides like all the inputs for the user, like so what need to be selected, and based upon that we're going to recommend a product for the user or the end user or the sales rep actually. So the configuration helps the end users to drive their like to select the products appropriately based upon their requirements. So like this configuration helps in that actually by using different set of rules that we have in the configuration, and we're going to provide a perfect solution for the customer requirements actually. And sales agents also, like the job is very easy for the sales agents, where they configure the code for the user or for the end user or for the customer by taking the necessary inputs from the customer actually. Okay, so here we can provide like the packages actually, or we can provide the simple products. So we can play around in the configuration, depends upon the business use cases, and through different set of rules that we have in the configuration. So that what we're going to learn about this actually on the training when you're going to start the training actually. And these are the different highlights of CPQ configuration. So where it's going to have a product comparison and help actually, and we're going to have upsell, cross-sell. We're going to have different HTML attributes for designing and all the stuff, and we're going to have a recommend item, constant rules, recommendation rules. This is a set of rules that we have in the configuration engine basically. And so what you're going to configure is nothing but what you're going to get in the quotation process, and it helps to guide the user basically. Like if you don't know the product actually what is the end product, but he knows the requirement, so the system is to guide the people or the sales agent to configure a perfect product for the customer. And we have a powerful rule builder, like with a different set of rules that we can um, build like a huge system for the user actually. Okay, and we are going to do everything as a data driven solutions, basically based upon storing the data tables, and we're going to drive the data from the data tables, and everything will be a dynamic system actually. It's not going to be static, it's going to be completely dynamic. So we're going to pull the data directly from the database actually. So database is nothing but in CPQ we call it as a data tables, like which is the inside the system only actually. So we're going to store the data and we're going to pull the data from that by using queries actually. Okay. So that's about the configuration that we have. So the next process is the pricing. Here, so for each product, we're going to have a different prices. For example, like let us take an example of if you're buying a product from one of the e-commerce sites like at Amazon. So if you're going to try a product from Amazon, actually, we're going to have different prices for each country. So for example, India is will be having a different set of prices for an iPhone, and the same thing it will be having a different set of prices for the iPhone in USA or Japan or something, and depends upon the country we're going to have a different prices for that. So the same concept, if you apply, we're going to have a different price books for each part, okay, that we're going to do here. And and the thing is also like the pricing framework, like so it depends upon the business needs. We can develop different types of pricing needs for them, and we're going to have multiple price books, and we're going to have the pricing rules to implement the complex logics actually. And if we're going to have like a customer specific pricing. So for example, like Shrikant is having some sort of Shrikant is a customer for sort of for a business process, and Ravi or someone is going to have a different customers for that business actually. So the price now comes for the product depends upon the customer. So Shrikant will be having a highest price, or like someone will be having less price, and Ravi or some other one will be going to have a less price. So it depends mostly on the customer specific pricing as well. Basically, it's going to be like it's going to be the business use cases that we're going to implement here. And we're going to have aggregate discounts and can be implemented made by data driven. Like for example, like if you take you're going to have some holidays in USA, like black days or like good Fridays, all the stuff. So at the time, some quoting systems actually they used to have promo codes and all the stuff. So at the time when they're going to configure the code actually, so we're going to showcase those type of promo codes, and they can get the discounts as well. So those type of use case also that we can handle in the by using the pricing actually. Okay, in CPQ. Any questions in configuration pricing so far? Stop me if I'm going fast actually. Uh,
So this is Balakrishna, Srikanth. So
yeah,
what
Michael.
other we have like, I mean, maybe we can say as competitors to Oracle CPQ in the market. And why do the customers generally go with the Oracle CPQ?
Yeah, it's a good point actually. So the first thing, let's discuss about the pros and cons of Oracle CPQ and other ones actually. Okay. So Oracle CPQ is like a let's say a like customized tool actually. So we can customize the CPQ like anything. So basically, like the system is like it's going to be like a white paper. Depends upon the business needs. We're going to turn that white paper into a like a painting actually. Okay, it's simply like the business use cases. Just we're going to incorporate it in the tool actually, and the CPQ system is open for any type of integration. So we can link with any type of CPQ. We can link with any type of system for data driving or for order creation, for order pushing. So we have a lot of feasibility that we can have in Oracle CPQ. And compared to if you take the Salesforce CPQ or Aptos CPQ, actually they have some limitations in the integrations points and the customization area. So Salesforce CPQ is completely depends upon Salesforce CRM only. It cannot be integrated with any of the CRMs, and it was like it will be like tightly packed with the Salesforce, and we can't do the much customization. If you have more number of products actually, for example, like if you have thousand products or 2,000 products on a code, so the system cannot uh, the system cannot support for those type of functionalities. So that's why Oracle CPK is one of the tool which can support those areas. So that is why it's the best in the market that we have. So but the pricing wise, if you are going for an enterprise level customer, the price may be a bit more, depends upon the package you're going for. If you're going for the standard package, then it will be a less cost compared to the license cost actually. So it depends upon the business, and on a high level is the comparison between these two CPQs actually. Any other question, guys? So
I mean, when we do
yeah.
the integration, so Oracle CPQ will be not only the one system actually interacting, it will be interacting with Oracle EBS or OCC, anything
Yes,
like, yeah.
yes,
So I mean, we define, we get the orders in the commerce, and we do the
yes,
configuration in the CPQ, right? So,
yes.
and whatever the information that needs to flow into the EBS, they do the integrations.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, like because the order are basically, so we're going to have like, for example, if you use the ICS, so the ICS is a middleware where we're going to connect with all the Oracle systems actually. So we're going to have predefined adapters. Just we're going to plug and play. That's it. So if you want to, on top of that, if you want to modify something, we can modify. But where if you use ICS also as a middleware, it's just going to be a plug and play to it. The job will be very easy actually. Like if you go for any orchestration flow or if you go for any different flows, we can just design the flow and just plug the adapter. Then it's going to be very easy actually. Yes, we can push the data, pull the data like anything actually. So we can connect to the Oracle like Oracle engagement cloud and Oracle commerce cloud, Oracle fusion systems. So we can connect actually to all the systems actually. So we can connect to the Oracle MCS like mobile cloud services as well actually. So where we can push the data into the mobile database as well if needed. So that is the area where CPQ can support actually right now. Okay, can I proceed? Any questions actually? So next we have a commerce flow. So the commerce flow is nothing but like the code or the pricing actually. So where we're going to have like once you configure the product, we're going to the user will be navigating to the commerce page where you can see the items of that for the configuration products, and there user going to start doing the pricing like you're going to upload the discounts, you're going to upload the promo codes, are you going to change something. So based upon the discounts, we're going to have an approval processes actually. So where we can have two types of approvals like serial approvals and parallel approvals, and we can manage by using hierarchical approvals also, and we have a delegated approvals also like so all those functionalities that we're going to handle in the commerce area, and where we're going to have something like access. So basically commerce the commerce complete commerce plays around the access actually. So it depends upon the admin user and it depends upon sales user. We're going to give the different access. Sorry, we're going to give the different access for the users, and so based upon that, they're going to have the visibility of the code basically. So for admin user, he can access everything, but for the sales rep, he just going to access some other fields. So those type of setup that we can do in the commerce process by using the steps actually. So we can get access by using the groups and the profiles that we used to define in the steps or in the that we used to create in the groups. So those type of things that we can handle in the commerce flow basically. So this is about the commerce, and the code. The next one is about the proposal basically. So the proposal is nothing but once we configure the product and once you done with the pricing and done with the approval stuff, the next one is about the draft template, the proposal or the invoice, whatever it may be. So generally we're going to generate a document by using a document designer, and where we're going to have the all the product information, all the prices information, and we're going to have the totals of the code. And if you want to have a cover page, if you want to have a DocuSign signature, we're going to have like the section based conditions and loops actually. So those things actually that we can do with the doc designer. So once we are done with the doc designer development, we're going to tag the doc design template into an action. So whenever you configure the code and when you go for the code action generation, just click on an action. It's going to showcase a document to you with the details which you have selected or which you have configured and which you have priced actually. We're going to get a document. So we're going to have the PDF document, and we're going to have Word document, we're going to have Excel sheet, and we're going to have RTF form of document that we're going to get it from as an output document actually on generation. It depends upon what business needs. If they want to have the PDF, we can do the PDF. If they want to have a document docx, we're going to generate a docx actually. If they want, sometimes they would like to have to see the report, they would like to have in the Excel sheet. So at the time we're going to do some customization with the XSLT code. There we're going to generate a document with the XSLT. So it depends completely. Again, it's completely depends upon the business use case that we're going to develop actually. So we can give all the brandings of the company or the business they want of the business that we're doing the project. So everything, and we can attach the dynamic documents as well. So in the runtime, if user want to attach a PDF to the existing PDF, so we can just give an attachment attribute and they can upload the document what they want. So those type of things that we can do in the coding process, like basically engine stuff code. So that's about the code actually. So next one is, these are the scripting language that we're going to use: BML or BMQL, Excel, XML, JS based upon need basis actually, and CSS for beautification of the site. So these are the language that we're going to use as a scripting language in Oracle CPQ. And so this is the training content that I'm going to like when we're going to start the training actually. So these are the topics that which I'm going to discuss. So we can have a look into this one. And this is the other actually. Any questions actually here?
Don't we cover, I mean, BML or the coding language, right? What is there and showed us, right?
No.
So the
So
BML,
BML will be
yeah,
covered as a part of the as a part of this one only. Like, I mean, we're going to I'm going to share a couple of BML books for you, and I'm going to teach like how to code, like the basic coding stuff. Because if you are good with the basic with the C or Java, it will be easy for us to get into this BML actually. It's very
okay,
easy, like trying to be like a complex coding actually, you can say. It's very it
mm,
will be very, just few concepts that we need to learn in the BML, but
okay, okay,
yeah, it will be, we can play around like actually. There's
mm.
nothing. So if you have any questions from anyone.
Yes, Chetan, this is Prakash. Which is the scripting language used by CPQ?
It's this one, the BML or BMQ, we call it as.
Okay.
So the next one, I'm going for a quick demo of how generally the system is. So let me quickly come forward that. So there's one other site for Oracle CPQ. So I'm just going with the configuration. So I'm just going with on a high level how it will be and how the different models will be actually. Hope you guys seen this one before actually. So I'm just so this is called the home page. So where we're going to have the selection of models and product families. So I'm just selecting one of the configuration model here. So the vision servers. So this is going to be the configuration. So if you, the business of this configuration is actually ideally to select a server. So for any for a business use case, actually we have done this one. So here we actually going to select a server. So we're going to have a different options like the package solutions and the external components actually, and we have core components and source components. So we're going to develop all these fields and rules based upon the business needs. And so like this is for the hardware selection, and next one actually the software selection for and for that server actually is what type of operating system, how many licenses that they want actually, and if they want anything else actually we're going to have an application software here and they can select from this one actually. Okay, if they want any antivirus or something else they can select from here. And if they want to have any service, like which type of service they want actually, what type of support level that they want actually. So we can have this type of options that we have here, like we can display in images, we can display in the like a checkbox actually, we can display as a table. So that we can that we all we can do actually here. Okay, so and based upon the configurations actually you can see the parts right here. So you can see the parts actually, and we can see the recommended parts. So these are the mandatory parts, means like which user can buy, like which user has to buy based upon the selection. Recommended parts is like system is going to recommend some part based upon the selection of products. System going to recommend some of the products as an additional. If it's user wish actually, if they want to go for that, he can go, or else he may not. So for example, like in Amazon, right? So for example, if you buy a mobile, actually, the system is going to recommend like a pouch or something else actually. In the same way, the CPQ also capability, like we can write the rules based upon the configuration, where we can have some mandatory parts as well as we can write some rules for recommending the recommended parts actually based upon the user configuration selection. And here we have the pricing, like we can just going to showcase it, the we can showcase as the base price. It's not going to be the discounted price, just going to be have the base price of the products actually. So you can see the price, right? So from we're going to pull the price from the system directly data table, the base or the cost actually, so that we're going to showcase here. Once we are done with here, then in the commerce or the code area, where we're going to give the discounts or all those areas actually. So this is the basic configuration that we have here. And from after this actually we're going to move into the quotation or transaction screen. So any questions here in this page?
Yeah, when we land from any, I mean, for example, Salesforce, or I mean, from Oracle CX, right? So
Yeah.
this is a screen, I mean, which will land into, or I mean,
No,
directly
no,
the code screen.
no. So the first thing is actually the flow will be different actually. So it's just for I'm just going for as a demo, but in
Okay,
general,
okay.
so it will be like this actually. So from CRM opportunity, from opportunity we're going to create a code. So we're going to first land into the quotation page, the code page. From that, from code page, we're going to navigate into the configuration. So from opportunity to code and code to configuration, again back to code actually. So that's the general process.
Okay, okay. So that code screen you call as, I mean, commerce, or I mean, not CP. I mean, just, I
Yeah,
mean, I am confused what we call as commerce and configure, right, in CPQ. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
we can take it later, but just I mean, okay, there is a, people
Yeah.
say, I mean, commerce and configuration, right? Just generally, I mean, I'm a bit confused. Okay, what is commerce and what is configuration? Okay,
Okay.
maybe we can
So
take it later. Okay, when we go next.
yeah, sure. So basically, on a high level configuration is like something like we can select the configure the products. Okay, we are not going to do anything. But in general, if you come from CRM, actually you're going to land into the quote or commerce page. Then after you're going to navigate into the configuration page. That's the
Okay,
general flow. Yeah.
okay.
So I'm just going for the create quote now.
So, like in general, I mean, whenever you create a code, I mean, you request for a code in the commerce. So, the commerce will try to get import this code from CPQ, right?
The code import in the sense like actually from which system, or you want to create a right code from CPQ, or like you want to import from any.
I mean, this CPQ, this page will not be displayed, right? I mean, you just send the item, whatever the item you selected in the commerce page, that will in
Config.
turn, if it is assembled item, it will
Mm.
directly go to the Oracle CPQ, check for the configurations, and then based upon the if the configuration is valid, it will again send it back, to the commerce.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, maybe in other systems it may be APIs, but here actually we have the internal rules itself where we're going to connect a configuration to a commerce process actually. So the configuration is a separate module where we're going to have the a different set of rules which will be tagged into a commerce process actually. So when you configure, so it's just going to proceed into the commerce page, and through rules actually we're going to display the slide, the product section selected by user actually. So I think everything is wrong here. So this is the line item grid. So what are the products that we have selected actually, right? So we're going to have this type of line item grid actually, where we're going to like configure the price, like we're going to change the prices. If you want to give the discounts, actually we can do the discounts as well. So all this functionalities that we can do here in this line item grid. And the above is the code header. So when you're coming from any other CRM system, some of the fields will be auto-populated through integration, and this customer details will be auto-populated actually when you are like if you implement the account integration from the CRM systems. This fields will be populated actually, and if you have an approvals, actually we can going to have the approvals here. What is the flow for the approvals, and if you something like anything like any policy that we are going to do, because this process actually related to some insurance policy come process. That's why we're having this type of options actually here. And if you are having submitting any order actually, so we can have separate tab and we can perform those orders actually. So those type of information that we can handle like this. And troubleshooting is like the admin tab actually, where we're going to see some admin attributes for developers basically. If you want to have to see some strings or to have some technical details, we can store here actually. So, and the next coming to the documents. So here the documents where we can generate the proposals. So as I said actually, so we can just generate a document actually here. So it will generate a PDF like this, like we're going to have a PDF or a docx, like anything, like it depends upon the business requirement that we're going to get here. So this is the one actually. So like this, we're going to get the document. Okay, that's we're going to design in the document designer basically. So, and the next one is about the e-signature. If you have any DocuSign requirement, so we can showcase that e-signature as well. So this is what it is on a high level. So any questions in this one basically on the deck or in the requirement on the configure commerce? If you have any questions, like you can ask now.
So this will be, I mean, quote and quote item screen, right?
Yes, yeah.
So what we call, I mean, code item has multiple child lines, right? I mean, what we call that in CPQ?
So this is as a model. This we call it as a model, and this is called as a recommended items actually, or a mandatory items.
These are code items, right?
Yes, I mean in general we'll call it as a recommended items. In CPQ technology, it will be called as a mandatory or a recommended items.
No,
Or
just I want to understand, I mean, what the hierarchy is. I mean, code to code item, or I mean, is there anything behind? I mean, beneath the code item? I
no,
mean,
no,
data model, right? So it's code item, and only two, 1 to m between code item, or code item also has some child
no, no,
lines.
no child lines actually. So
Okay.
here actually, what are the model that you are confident that will be treated as a model. After that, in the model we're going to have some parts. If you are confident different models, so for each model we're going to have a set of products actually. So the model will be treated as a parent, and the other parts will be treated as a child for that model actually.
Okay. So we can add multiple
Yes.
models, right,
Yeah.
into one code.
Yes, we can add n number of models actually.
So in that case, see, for example, let I have broadband connection and a fixed line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I add these two models right into this code, okay, so broadband will be my code item, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if in broadband I have, I mean, some other classification, I mean, some other, I mean, like, I mean, in broadband, right, package, okay, I mean, I have some modem, okay, Wi-Fi router, right? So this
Mm-hmm.
will be as code items only, or I mean, how, I mean, what
Yeah.
is the
This
relation,
will
I mean, between
no. This will
broadband and this Wi-Fi router?
Yeah, this will be as a quote items only, but it will be treated as a sub items or a additional items actually, ad hoc items.
Okay, okay, that's what. Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, so I think we are good actually. So this is what